Welcome everybody. This is a welcome to Module 2. Just to run through how this particular module is going to work and how I've decided to release the content for it, and just to give you some brief insights into how you may want to negotiate this module over the coming 5 weeks. So the first thing that I'd like you to do, if you haven't done so already, is actually sign up to your particular cohort group. And this is going to be important as of now for the unit, because I'm going to be separating out the discussion forums at times, not all the time, but in some weeks, into your cohort groups. It's just a little bit easier to manage in terms of e-moderating. So if you haven't already assigned yourself to your cohort group, what I'd like you to do is go to the left, the menu on the left, the navigation menu on the screen, and I'd like you to click on Sign Up Groups. And you'll see in there you've actually got 3 options. So if you're in second and third year, you sign into one at the top. If you're in 4th year, so if you're in your final year of the Bachelor of Education, you sign into the group in the middle. And if you're a 4th year upgrader, you sign into the group here at the bottom. If you think you might have signed into the incorrect group, that's fine. You can actually go into the group and remove yourself. So once you've clicked on join this group, if you're in the wrong one, you actually get the option to withdraw from it. And as I said, this is just going to make it easier in terms of e-moderating the discussions over the coming weeks. Excuse me. Now with Module 2, we are looking at particular learning spaces. Okay, so we're looking at 5 different learning spaces. They're not the only ones, but in terms of how we can structure the unit, it makes it it makes sense to use those 5. But what I really am looking for as you begin to synthesize the information and delve deeper into learning spaces is to look for your own. Now, we've had a few emerging already. I think it's Naomi is talking about the pondering space, which is very interesting. And later on in the semester, we'll actually be talking about those spaces that are slightly off the grid, if you know what I mean. So they don't have a finite interpretation, but how can we implement them into the schools that we operate in. So in order for you to be able to access the Module 2 content, you need to click on the Welcome to Module 2 section. And when you've finished watching the video, now this is actually showing the audio file that I had up originally, but I've decided to change it to this video. When you've finished watching the video, you just need to click in the little tick box on the right hand side there, and then when you go back to your home page, you'll see that Module 3 appears. So click on Module 3. Now what I've decided to do with this is actually, rather than release all 5 weeks in one go, I'm going to release week 3, and we'll spend some time during the week getting used to what is expected of all of us over the coming 5 weeks. And then at the end of week 3, if you have completed the relevant tasks, weeks 4, 5, 6 and 7 will open up for you. Okay? And just talking about the tasks, the eTivity 2 is the eTivity associated with Module 2, and what I have done is split that up into 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D and 2E. There's 1 per week, but they will remain open for the entirety of the module. Okay, so you don't have to do them on a weekly basis. It is recommended that you do, because they are structured to help build or continue to build the community of practice, which is going great guns at the moment. So if you were to leave them all until week 7, you would miss out on some really important conversation. Likewise, if you did them all in week 3 or at the beginning of week 4, you'd miss out on some great participation and collaboration as well. So with this particular week, with week 3, we're looking at the classroom and the school, and we've got 3 readings. By the way, especially those of you who are in-service teachers, I'm always open to new texts being sent in my direction. I do my best to search for new information, but sometimes those of you actually in the school system know it a bit better. So 3 readings, which I'd like you to engage with at your leisure. And then I'm just going to cite, you see, when you go to the discussion forums, you see it starts with forum 3B. So because I'm not in a cohort in this test code that I'm in, I can't see the discussion forum. So I'm actually now going to go and sign into one of them. It's good practice. Beautiful. If I now go back to my home page and into the week 3 section, hopefully, okay, I can now see forum 3A. So I'd like you to engage with those texts and then start engaging in this forum where there are some specific guiding questions. Now, what I would like you to be very cognizant of this week is to move away from that sort of regurgitation of information, which was happening quite a lot, especially with the Web 2 forum posts, and begin to synthesize the information and begin to turn it into something that is relevant to you, which is why I've asked those 2 questions. I want you to obviously look at the information and take it on board, but then I want you to synthesize it. I want you to turn it into something else. Okay, so think about how you construct your posts so that they are engaging, relevant, and perhaps end with a question. So spark further debate and further conversation. Some people did it very well in the Web 2 post in week 2, but a majority of people were really just regurgitating information. So that's the structure for week 2. Then you've got week 3, and then you've got eTivity 2A, and there are various things in there that sort of administrative tasks and then things that I'd like you to do. The administrative tasks are, signing into your cohort group, that kind of thing. But then the other tasks are to do with developing how we're going to start unwrapping these learning spaces. So as an example, one of the things I'm asking you to do is take photographs of spaces that relate to the classroom and the school. Okay. Now there are many reasons why I'm asking you to do that, but really, if you go and have a look at the requirements for assignment number 2, you need to include images in your presentation. So this is actually giving you a practice about how you can start to gather those images and start to see what you really want to capture. Okay, is it a row of seats, or is it perhaps what is happening behind the seats or underneath the seats? So start thinking about other ways of looking at this information. I will be monitoring the forums quite closely this week. I've split them into the cohort groups, so you can only see your particular cohort's postings, and we'll get that community of practice up and running even more than it is already, and then in later weeks we'll actually begin to engage with each other again a bit more. The response to the text is still there, as is the general discussion forum and as is the PLN forum. Might I just add, I'm really pleased with the likes of Kairi and Alana, who are putting together how-to guides for fellow students. Absolutely excellent. Okay, I hope you're enjoying the unit, and I look forward to working with you over week 3.